You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.
I feel like today is definitely going to be one of those days where we just sit back, reflect, and kind of look at our lives. And I think there's no other person to have with us today but then our guest, Amanda White.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to have you here with us.
It's wonderful to be here.
Now, you are the founder of TorchBearer.
Yes, absolutely. Founder and CEO.
Make sure you get it right.
She said, please respect my name. Give me all the letters.
All of them.
I love that. Now, before we get into what you do, who are you? What got you into this? What's your backstory?
Wow. That's that. Well, let's see. How much time do I have?
Oh, you got enough.
Oh, we got time.
You got time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's a good story. You know, sometimes when I hear myself tell my own story, it's just like, it's totally unbelievable. But well, my name is Amanda White, and most of the time I go by Minister White, and that in itself is a story all by itself.
Yeah.
But I've been in this business, in this industry, working along with a lot of men and women that are coming out of chemical dependency and what have you. But I got in it. I like to always tell everybody I'm just not the founder and CEO. I'm a member. So my background really comes from being on both sides of the bridge. 20, 30-some years of just living a life of drugs and reckless living, bad decisions, choices that I made.
Yeah.
But it also have a lot of sexual molestation, rape, just whatever it is, just kind of pull it out the sky. Look like God gave it all to me, you know. Like, could you not just like leave one out of the
Just one thing. You just gotta give it all at one time.
But it is by His grace and His mercy that every time I think about it, that I made it through, because there are so many people that I know or people that I've heard of that did not make it through.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it was His choice for me to make it through. It was difficult, but I did, you know, and I'm grateful to do that, and I'm a true believer in paying it back. Of course, that's what He asked me to do. He says, once I've established you, He says, then reach back and get your brother.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that forever. You know, and I was doing that even when I was out there doing drugs. Even when I couldn't save myself, I was out there trying to save other people, because there were times I would come in there and I would see women that were pregnant, you know, little children, and they're just getting high. And I was like, just, you know, trying to get them out of there. Of course, they wouldn't, but at least I gave it an attempt to try to do that. And so this that I'm doing, I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah.
God just made it better.
That's already touching in itself. Just to be able to use such low point in your life on a frown, to be able to look back now and to smile and to laugh about those times when you was in a low point when everybody was talking about you during the time. You know what I mean? Like,
It's a blessing, and it took me a moment, you know, because I'm sure like everyone else had that moment where, why am I here? What good am I? Those was the questions that I asked myself for years. Why did you, you know, even make me? Why do you have me here? What good am I? You know, and it took a long time. I think probably by the time I was 37, 39, I began to get an understanding of why God had me here. And the cold part about it is that now, when I look back over my life, the sexual molestations, you know, the abuse and all that stuff, that really kept me out of a lot of other things that I was trying to get into, you know, because, of course, you know, nobody wake up and say they want to be a prostitute, but because I was in that lifestyle and I wasn't able to take care of myself or make the money that I needed to make, I tried to do that, but because of the sexual molestation, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, you would think one bad thing would kind of couple the thing, but that thing it helped me to survive from not going into another direction, adding something else on my plate.
Yeah.
So I'm just really grateful for God for all the things that I've gone through, and I never thought that my misery will be somebody's grace, you know, so I'm excited.
I love how you speak about it, and it's so, like he said, it's so brave in the way that you speak about it. It's not like you're detached from it. Like, that was my life and this is me now. Yeah. You stay within this mindset that no matter what situation I was in, I always knew that there was a reason why I was taking this journey. Yeah. Now, when you were in this journey, are you, first of all, are you from Houston?
Yes, I am.
You're Houston born and raised?
Yes, not many of us here.
I know, everybody's an import.
Yeah, right.
Trust me, I get it. Not everybody's original.
Absolutely.
No, but while you were here, and you were going through that journey, what was it within you? Because sometimes we actually had someone that came on and was talking about sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. What was it that was in you, that was the turning point that made you, because you knew, you're like, even though I'm in this situation, I know I'm different. I know that there's something special about me. I know that I have a purpose. But what was the turning point that made you go, I got to get out of this?
Well, it was not my turning point. I was in a dope house. Okay. And ran out of dope and just was geeking like everybody else was, you know, and we was trying to wait for the next hit. And we heard this police knock at the door, which we thought it was the police. And it was like, next thing we have this boom, and the door flies wide open, and we hear, "Where's my mama? Where's my mama?" And everybody looking, and they looked at me, and I come around the corner. It was my daughter.
Wow.
It's my
Man, you can't read, man. That's a touching subject, man.
When I think about it, every time I think about it, you know, it was my daughter, and she had her brothers in the car, and they came and got me, you know, and I always tell people, somewhere along the line, I was able to sow some seeds into my children, and one of the things I always sow is never leave one soldier behind. Yeah. Because I didn't think I was going to live past 30. And so I was trying to prepare my kids to stay together and to always be there for one another. So my thing was every day, never leave the soldier behind. No matter where they're at, no matter what they're doing, go back and get the soldier. And nobody could have told me that the soldier was me.
Did you have any military background?
No, I just like military
because that
movies.
Is what they, that's one thing that they truly preach, don't leave nobody behind. You go back and get everybody.
Absolutely. And it was, and thank God I looked at that. You know, that was one of I love cowboy movies and I love war movies. Yeah. And that is what I had to take away from that. And they remembered it, you know, and I'm talking about my children was like 16, 17. And they were not afraid to come into that dope house and to get me. And she got me and she put me in the car and she told me that what I was going to do, because I didn't know what to do. And for a year and a half, she was the mother. She took control of the situation. She paid all the bills. She went to work because I couldn't work. Yeah. And and I'm forever grateful. She really is my shero, you know. And I just thank God for her.
You can't get rid of that, especially a mother's love, a mother's touch. It just goes to show that it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. No matter what happens. Right. I'm coming for mama. Because when I'm coming for mama, I'm coming for my mama. Right? You know what I mean?
Because she was not playing. She scared everybody in that house.
They're like, it's the police. No, it's my daughter.
No, it's my daughter.
See, now that is something that I love. And I think with everything that's been going on recently, there is this message of your legacy. Yeah. What it is that you leave with people, even the smallest things. They always say it's a mustard seed, and we always relate to it as faith, but sometimes the mustard seed is just one action. Yeah. And something that you did within her, like you said, you left the message, leave no soldier behind. And so now that you have come to yourself and you have the strength to be able to, you know, live life, the second act of life with such vigor, now you have TorchBearers. Yeah. Tell me about the legacy that you are leading with this.
I pretty much, you know what, I have not changed in my thought about what it takes for a person to survive and to make it to the next level. You know, and one of the things when I was contemplating about TorchBearer was that village, right? That old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And then I started thinking, well, what happened to the village? You know, when did the village go away? And do the village supposed to go away? And I thought to myself, no, the village don't go away because we still need a village today. Yeah. So the child grow up and become an adult, and the adult needs the village. you know, and my village, when I came to aware of it, it became my parole officer, the judge, the attorney, you know, and everybody that was in my care package team became my village, until now that's no longer my village, because the village do move. So now my village is other people, my children, my friends, the people that care about me, the people that say that they believe in me. Now that's my village. Those are the people that I go to and I lean on. So that is what I try to convey to the men that are at the house now, that I'm your village, I'm part of your village, and I'm going to help you to build another village so that you can go into the direction that you need to go to. And it's awesome to see, you know, because it's hard for people to let you help them. It's that old song like Aretha Franklin sang, ain't no way for me to love you, right?
All right.
If you don't let me, right? If you don't let me, I can't do nothing with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's difficult because they come out of prisons, and they broken. You know, they don't want to admit that they are broken. And I always tell them, listen, I'm not your enemy. I'm here to help you. I'm here to love on you. I'm here to give you what you need, but you got to let me. And so that's my first task with them when they get there, is to first break down the inability to allow people to do what you say you want them to do. You know, and so those are the things that I try to instill with them right now.
So speak structurally about what Torch Bearers is. Like, it's a transition home for those?
It is a transitional home. We are doing, I do two purposes there right now. The first purpose was that the statistic says that one of the main reasons why they reoffend is because there's no shelter. And it's so true. All you got to do is go to a Greyhound, and they so obvious because they come out with the convict shoes and the convict bag and the paper toilet tissue paper shirts and what have you. So the first thing that I realized is that they have to get off the street, you know. And so that's one part of TorchBearer. We provide shelter for them. The next structure that we do is to give them the basic need, because I basically target the men and women that have been in there for 10 and more years.
Because at that point, you're out of touch with.
Yeah, you're totally out. You're out of range. You have no idea. People done moved, situation, technology, everything has moved. So you actually need that basic training of how to navigate yourself back into the community. You know, now it's no more. What is it? The transfers? They don't click. Well, y'all might, you know, y'all kind of looking at me all like, what's she talking about? No, but it's totally different on how to ride the metro.
Okay, transfer. We good now.
We got you.
We talking about?
We got you now.
We good. Okay,
You with me now?
We understand. Because we were like, transfers, what? Money?
Right? Everything.
Yeah, so, you know, and most of them come out, you know, and they was in, I have a gentleman at my house, did 49 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
He has to relearn everything.
You actually have these people come to your home and shelter through your home. That I feel like that's even a big thing, because you're showing them that you're not looking at them as an outside person, but you're looking at them as family.
These are high risk.
You know what I mean?
Right. These are sex offenders that people don't take. You know, I'm not afraid of it, you know, and it ain't because I came from that way, from out of that place. It's just that that's who God called me to be. I've always been fearless, but I didn't know it. You understand? I always did things, but I told myself that I was afraid, but I was doing what I said I was afraid to do. It's crazy. It takes a while.
No, but but what you said is really powerful.
Yeah.
You took something that was once fear and something that should have been used to break you, and yet you stand in front of it and go, no, let me show you how to put the pieces back together.
Absolutely.
And I think that is the biggest thing that we could definitely take away. Now, you work close within the community as far as helping them get started and back on their feet. So what kind of resources do you use?
Are available for you?
What are available to you?
Every day I'm outsourcing. So my days start with once it's important for them to see me before they leave.
Okay.
Because it's that thing that that they lose from coming from out of prison, and they walk out the door, that stability. So stability is so important for anybody.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So I need to see the same person every day. So one of the things I do is I always call them my men of valors. Good morning, my men of valors. Good morning, my kings. And they see me, and I go to each one of them. What's going on? How your day going? What you got up today? What can I do? Things of that nature. And then once I speak to them, then I'm out. Just looking for places, organizations I can go to that will listen to me and offer their help, because I'm not an island.
Yeah.
And I'm not God. That I know. And I have stopped trying to be God.
Right.
I'm like, that's your job, you can have it. I don't want it, So most of my, I do a lot of outsourcing right now.
Yeah.
Because my next phase is to get a building. And that building is to have, I want to do an inclusive. And I know a lot of times people say they're inclusive, but they're not really inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
We say what we need to say to do what we want to do. And sometimes, I don't throw no stones at nobody because I ain't got no stones to throw.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do what you say you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the third thing that I structure with the guys is integrity and character. I told them, I said, money is not your problem. Your integrity and your character is what is holding you back. Because once you build your integrity and you do what you say you're going to do, and people can depend on what you say you're going to do, then the hands open.
Yeah.
You don't even have to ask for help. People just start helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your integrity and your character is what's so important. And so I'm just doing the basic with them. I'm talking about basic living, basic skills, basic understanding of how to deal with situations that baffle us. And those things are very, very small. Like, man, I missed the bus. So do I go and take a drink? What do I do? Because that is it's a real thing for them, because sometimes they can't figure that out. And those are things that baffle them.
Yeah.
To us, you say that's an easy thing, but no, not really, because if I haven't been in society, walking in society, those things are not naturally come to me. Those things baffle me, and I don't know what to do.
Time management is a big thing because you come from a spot that time was managed for you.
Right,
Yep.
right.
So what is one misconception that society needs to understand about those that are transitioning back into everyday activity?
That they're out to harm you. They're not. Those men are so afraid. I seen them. I worked in the prison system for like 22 years as a counselor in the pod every morning, waking them up at 4 o'clock in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon, just in there with them, looking at the sign says we don't negotiate hostages, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I see that sign. But one of the things that I try to educate the community is that these people actually want to change.
Yeah.
You understand? And if you really take a look at them, they're your mama, they're your daddies, they're your brothers and sisters, your cousin, your friends, the people that you knew next door, you knew about them but you didn't know them.
Yeah.
These are everyday people. And the majority of them are people that have been in there and said, you know what, I want to change but just don't know how to change.
Yeah.
And so the misconception is that they are harmful. That once a drug addict, always a drug addict. I have a murderer. Once a murderer, always a murderer.
Wow.
And the man don't want to murder. There is always a story behind it. Some do. I'm not going to take that away. But for me, the last 20 years, the majority of the people that are locked up, those people really want to come out and really become self-sufficient of their own contribution.
Yeah.
They're not asking for help. But the reason why they have to ask for help is because of their background, and that's another story. You understand? To me, when I got out and I was trying to be a mother and take care of my kids and what have you, I couldn't.
Yeah.
They want me to live in the lowest of the lowest, someplace that a dog don't even want to be in.
Yeah.
Because it don't shelter you from the rain.
Yeah.
You understand? And then you want to throw me all kind of, you know, you want to serve me all kind of food in that neighborhood, a decapitated neighborhood. That's where you want me to live at, and you want me to change? I can't change in that environment.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm going to go back to what I know, you know, and so the first thing they come into my place is they see the environment, you know, and when I first opened up TorchBearer, most of the parole officers that I would invite in the community to have them to come in and look at the house, they was like, oh, this is too nice. You sure you want to put them in here? And I'm like, yes, because they need to know that couch sets matches.
Yeah.
That's for real.
Right, so they know what to look for.
Yeah. You know, they need to know that they can eat off of silverware and they ain't got to eat off of plastic.
Yeah.
You know, because they've been eating out of a spoon. What
Yeah.
do they call it?
A spork.
A spork. Yeah. It ain't a spoon, it ain't a fork. You know, I hated that thing because when you tried to get the meat, you couldn't.
Yeah, because it wouldn't hold all of it. So you got to
right.
scoop and bite.
Yeah, right.
That spork gets you every time.
Yeah. It's crazy, though, but it's a slow process, but it's changing.
Definitely. So you actually said that you have definitely helping people transition for us back out. Have you ever come across something where you feel like you couldn't break that barrier down?
Yeah, to be honest, I just had, and I take it very seriously and I take it personal. I know I shouldn't, but I do. I just had to put out a gentleman a couple of days ago, and if he would have gave me at least I believe, if I would have had 3 more weeks with him, and he wouldn't have walked away, I could have.
You could have broke the.
I could have broke it a little bit because he was breaking. He was breaking, and he was in there for 20-some years, and his idea was, I'm the baddest, son of a gun walking down the street. And I told him, I said, you couldn't have been too bad because you got in jail.
Right. You got
So bad didn't stop you from going to jail, and he just had this. It's not a prisoner mentality. It's just a mentality that he had when he went in. And that's what statistics says, that they're going to face the same problems they had coming out as they did going in, because the prison system, being in there, it deals with trying to what's the word?
Rehabilitate.
Rehabilitate. That's not personal.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
That's trying to get me to go straight, narrow. But what naturally has to happen is you gotta deal with my morals. You gotta deal with my belief system. Mm-hmm. You gotta deal with the whole me.
Yeah.
But yes, I learned how to walk straight because you got a gun. You understand? But when I come out and there's nobody telling me that I have to walk straight. Yeah. And so now I got to rely on my own devices, which has not changed because I ain't dealt with that. So, I had to put him out, and it was hard because I gave him 2 weeks, and I really talked to him, and I really tried to share with him the importance of him being able to let go, because there's pain. I said, I used to always tell him, I told him the story, but do I have time to tell you this? Yeah, it's real quick. I always tell everybody this, the way that man used to kill monkeys back in the day. He was like, well, they shot him. I'm like, they didn't shoot him, boy. Shit, I said back in the day.
Before the gun.
Yeah, before. Way back. Go a little bit further, But the way men used to kill monkeys is that they would go into the jungles with Washington apples. And, and contrary to what everybody believed, when you go to the zoo, you see more apples because monkey loves apples better than they love bananas. Yep. And so they would scurry up to the top of the apple tree where the best apples are at. So man go into the jungle with a Washington apple. He walk around in a circle, and they're looking down on him. He has an apple in one hand, and he has a vase in another hand. He drops the apple in the vase, and he sets it down. And so the monkeys are looking at him, and so they call Mikey. Hey Mikey, go down there and see, because Mikey don't eat anything, right? They say Mikey likes everything, but the commercial says Mikey don't eat everything. That's the commercial. So Mikey goes down there, he peeps into the vase, and he said, yeah, it's a Washington apple. They said, get it, right? So Marquis sticks his paw in the vase to try to pull the apple out, but he's struggling because he's holding on to the apple. And the more he tries to pull the apple out, he hears the footstep of man, and he pulling it, and the faster he pulled, the faster man come, and then all of a sudden, man pull out a club, because that's how they used to kill monkeys, with a heavy club. Bam, smash his brains in. So the question is, where was the pain? Was the pain in holding on, or was it in letting go?
Letting go of that apple. I want this apple now. I can't leave it behind. I can't leave it behind.
Yeah. So, and the moral of that story is that you got to let go of all of that stuff that you came here with, because you can't hold on to none of it. Now, what God does, He takes it, He sends it through the refining fire.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff you come back out with.
Yeah.
You know, because one of the things that I was afraid that God was going to take from me is my hip slick and cool stuff. You know, I like being hip slick and cool. I like that part there. There wasn't nothing really wrong with that one. You know? All the rest of those stuff you can take it with you. But, you know, don't take my slick and hip and coolness. You know what I'm saying? I like being there. So, but he couldn't catch that message, and I tried. You know, so yeah, it's very hurtful when I have to let him go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So where is the home located?
We're located on the northeast side of Houston, 610 North Homestead. Okay. The exit at 7242 Orville Street, Orville. Okay. You know, we've been really blessed to have 2 acres of land, wow. And it sits on the corner.
So February 20th, you got official grand opening, right?
Yes. I know, right? It's gonna be marvelous. Oh, it is February the 20th. I'm having the grand opening for TorchBearer Reentry Transitional Home, and it's gonna be at 1 o'clock at that facility. And I'm hoping that I have a lot of city officials to come out and take a look at it. Yeah. They need to see it. Yeah. And I've invited the community and everyone else. I'm inviting everybody to come out and take a look, because what I want them to see is that I believe that reentry needs to change its look.
It does.
I want to change the way it looks, the way it sounds, the way it feels, the way it smells, the way it tastes. You know, it cannot be the same old thing over again. Yeah. And so with that, I want to change that, you know, because those are the statistics. It says that it is their environment that will lead them down the path of going down the wrong path. So if the environment leads them down the wrong path, then the environment has to lead them out of that path. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, it's just lovely, and I thank God.
So how can we follow you? How can we follow the ministry? How can we follow TorchBearers? How can we be a part?
You can follow me on Facebook, TorchBearer Reentry. Everything is TorchBearer Reentry. Okay. I made it real simple because I don't understand technology. So, you know, so you can follow me on Instagram the same way. You can follow me on Twitter the same way. And you can also go on my website page at torchbearerreentry.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for kicking it with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys, make sure that you follow our pages on 92 KELZ. Make sure that you follow KickN'It Radio. We'll definitely be posting this event February 20th. Give us the address one more time.
7242 Orville, Orvilles Street.
Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you.
Yay!
How many minutes was it?
It was 20.
Okay, cool.
You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.